Is that all you got?
What's good, everybody out there on YouTube? This is your man Shadicstick dropping some hot faraga on this mic. Today we're going to be talking about Team Sonic Racing and why you should buy Team Sonic Racing on the Nintendo Switch. But before we start, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell because you need to stay notified for all the greatest and latest and video game content. And make sure you hit that like button, it would be highly appreciated. But let's talk about Team Sonic Racing. At its core, it is a great car racer. Like, it really is. But at its most complex, it's an unparalleled, unrivaled team-based kart racing experience. The gameplay is a lot more like the first Sonic Racing game, but has a lot more speed and it has a lot tighter controls. While I really did like Transformed, I didn't think it did enough to basically build upon what the first game did. And I think Team Sonic Racing does that in the control area at least. Again, I think Sonic Racing Transformed is amazing, and in every other aspect it does really great to improve on the first game. I just think controls could have been a lot better in comparison to what you gotten with Team Sonic Racing, where they've taken it to 100 and the game feels really tight, feels really responsive, and feels a lot faster. On top of that, we don't have the collision issues as much as we did in Transformed. You may see a glitch here and there online, but I've only experienced one glitch, and that was in an online match, and I think the game had a problem syncing up players. Outside of that, I haven't experienced any glitches. And I've seen other people have experienced maybe one glitch, here and there. But outside of that, this game is really solidly well made, especially for a budget game, a budget Sonic game at that. But one of my favorite parts of the gameplay is just the item selection and how they've done items. There are 14 different items, which include the basic White Wisp, which is just a simple boost, the Rocket, which acts kind of like a really fast green shell. I wouldn't say it's like the green shell. It's like the green shell in that it ricochets off walls, but outside of that, it's really fast. Hits opponents really easily because it's so fast, and it's just a good tool for keeping enemies from getting too far ahead of you. Eagle is a homing rock. It's basically like Rocket, but it homes in on the target. Then you have Cube, which blocks opponents, and then you have Burst, which leaves this trail of flames behind whoever uses it. And it's a really good tool for basically keeping your team on track and keeping your team from getting hit by enemies. It also destroys items and stuff hitting at you from behind, so I really like Burst and the way they've used it. And the last one I have to talk about is Quake, which I think is probably one of the most notable ones because it's like the Wasp from Transformed, but instead it sends pillars of stone in front of the first player to block their path and do damage. And I feel like it's a lot better than Wasp in that it does its job a lot better, but you're still able to avoid the stone pillars, which is something that I really like. And I think that's the best thing about this game. It never feels like items are a crutch and just instantly change the tide of the race. I shouldn't get hit right before the finish line and go from first to 12th. Mario Kart. I'm just really happy that in this game they found a way to balance the items that reward you for being a better driver rather than being able to hit the button faster than someone to throw out an item. On top of that, we have new team gameplay mechanics because they've added team gameplay into this game. Now, yes, there are other kart racers that have team modes where you add up the scores of everyone based off of where they are in a race, and that's how final scores in the game work. But when you look at the actual gameplay itself, it's a lot deeper than that. We have things like skim boosts, which help the players who've basically been hit to get them back up to speed by other players on their team passing them or passing right by them to help speed them up and giving them a boost. We have Slingshot, which is it's a draft, but it's on a per team basis where basically the leading team member is the only one who has the draft behind them and the other team members get behind them to get a boost. On top of that, we have Item Box Transfer, which I think adds a much bigger layer of strategy above that by allowing you to request items from teammates or give them to teammates. It's really cool because it can change the position of one of your teammates from being maybe in 12th to be maybe in 8th. While that doesn't sound like a big deal, when you add up the points at the end, that disparity in points can really close the gap on first. On top of that, we have rival takedowns, which help to take out, other members of other teams, most notably the one that is ahead of you in rankings and gives you more ultimate meter. And the biggest addition is that team ultimate, which allows for everyone on your team to get this massive boost and you get invincibility. And depending on how you activate it, it actually can change the duration. So if you stagger the team boost between each member, it can elongate the length, or if you do it all at the same time, it can elongate the length of how long the boost lasts. and it's really a cool mechanic that I wish a lot of kart racers would take an idea from. The team mechanics, hand down, are the best addition to the game and honestly add something new to the kart racing genre. But another new feature that has been added has been vehicle customization. But before you say, Shaddick, I can do that in Mario Kart, it's a lot different in this game. First of all, you can save presets of different vehicles, which is something that I really do like. It is something that allows my vehicle to feel unique and allows me to basically change the style of gameplay or just my visual aesthetic style whenever I want. You can change your vehicle up in a multitude of ways by changing the fronts, backs, and wheels while also changing the color themes and decals. Again, on these, you can have 5 different presets for each of the 15 individual characters in the game, basically allowing you to keep your style and gameplay fresh. It's something that I really like. And again, I wish Mario Kart would implement this. But the biggest game changer in this game, and especially in terms of content, is probably the story mode. While in the first 15 minutes it contradicts itself by Dodonpa telling the racers that they're going to Planet Wisp, and then the second or third race you're going to Seaside Hill. It's still a very enjoyable story, or at least of what I've played, it's still been really enjoyable. The dialogue, ironically, is not 50 Shades of cringe. Yes, it's cheesy, I will say that, it gets really cheesy, but it's in a good way and I really enjoy it. The dialogue actually kind of carries over into these races as characters trash talk each other, and it really adds this dynamic sense in these races that weren't in previous games, and it isn't in really any other racing game. I really like when, you know, Knuckles hits somebody and he calls out the character he hit and tells them, hey, how did you like that? I'm better than you. I think it's cool. My biggest gripe though with, you know, anything in terms of the story or dialogue is not the dialogue itself, but some of the voice acting, because we have new voice actors this time around. The most notable ones to me have been Knuckles, Blaze, Silver, and Zavik. While Knuckles is something that I'm going to have to get used to because he's just basically trying to sound like the 4Kids Knuckles, and it winds up coming off as an impression rather than voice acting. I do like it, I just think that he needs another game to get it down pat because it's actually pretty decent. I feel like you can tell the voice actor is brand new. Well, he may not be brand new to the industry because I didn't research who it was. I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, this is his first time being Knuckles. Second one, Blaze, is actually really good. Blaze's voice actress is doing a really phenomenal job, so I like that they done a good job with her. I like Zavik's new voice. It's not something that I ever thought was important to me, but it works out. Silver, however, what did they do? Remove him from this game. Like get Quentin Flynn back, because this new guy is actual garbage.
Shaddick, that's really mean.
I'm sorry, but hey, he sounds like trash. One thing I'm glad to say is that for the most part, the voice acting is great. Well, yes, we have Silver. Silver is, I just don't want to listen to him speak. Everybody else is actually pretty good, if not phenomenal. Now, let's talk about online, because I think that's one of the most central or pivotal points in this. The online is okay, but it's actually really good when you look at it. Let me not even say okay, it's really good when you look at it, but the biggest issue is that you cannot go into public online matches with your friends in teams. Like, what is the point of me playing this team-based racing game if I cannot go into teams with my friends online? Yes, you can start a private lobby and you can do it that way, but I want to play against other players without having to, you know, basically tell people to, oh, hop in my private lobby. And I think this is a missed opportunity, but it's something that they can patch in and fix. It's online and it's an online component of the game, and I don't think it's super hard to fix. But that is my biggest complaint with the game. Outside of that, I don't really have complaints outside of, you know, Silver being trash. And if you're wondering, how does this run on the Switch? The game runs in 720p at 30 frames per second. Now, I'll be sitting here lying to you if I told you this game did not look pretty, especially on Nintendo Switch. It looks phenomenal. Even though it's at 720p, if you have a really good TV, it's probably not gonna matter because the image processing is probably going to do its work. But even then, if you don't and you're playing it in handheld, or you're playing it on a nice, or are you playing it on a monitor like I've done most of my gameplay here, it looks really good. And it surprises me considering I thought it was going to be a massive downgrade from the PS4 and Xbox One versions. But even looking at gameplay online, they're comparable. And most times outside of the frame rate, I can't tell if the game is running on PS4 or Switch unless I'm pixel peeping. and people are worried about the 30 frames per second, but you don't notice it. The frame rate is extremely stable. It's a consistent 30 frames per second, so it's never jittery, it doesn't get jarring, it just works. I think that's the best part about it. You don't notice, like, I completely forgot that the game was running at like 30 frames per second until like I thought like I had to talk to someone about it on stream. I think it really was not a big issue, if an issue at all. If you think it's a big issue, I don't know how to help you. But overall, you should buy Team Sonic Racing on Nintendo Switch. It's $40. You get a really great kart racing experience. Is this going to replace your Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? In a lot of aspects it will, in a lot of aspects it won't. While Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is a phenomenal game, I think some of the gameplay aspects just do not make it an enjoyable experience sometimes, most notably the item balancing. Like, I was playing a few days ago and I kept losing simply because of the fact that someone could hit me with an item right before I hit the finish line, and then everybody passed me and I go from like first or second place to last place instantly. And that's all too common an occurrence in Mario Kart. On top of that, you don't have the wide amount of range of races and modes that you have in Team Sonic Racing, if that makes sense when it comes to racing. Now, Team Sonic Racing doesn't have a battle mode, so if you really were looking forward to a battle mode, I'd say stick to Mario Kart. But I think for the average person, this game is going to be a really good alternative to Mario Kart, if not a replacement for it. It really just comes down to preference, because while I like this game, I like a lot of the track design in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe more. The track design here is phenomenal, don't get me wrong, but there's something about Mario Kart tracks that is so hard to beat. It's almost impossible to beat the designs of those tracks in the way that they're laid out. It's just, they're honestly masterpieces when you look at them. So should you buy Team Sonic Racing? Yes. Should you buy it on Nintendo Switch? If you have a Switch, I'd recommend picking up on Switch before you pick it up on anything else. You get the portability, it looks nice and still runs well. It's a great game to take on the go. Even in portable mode, there wasn't any time that I noticed a frame rate drop. And the game looks just as good, if not better, because it's on a smaller screen. But guys, tell me how you feel about Team Sonic Racing down below if you have the game already. Do you love the game? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you feel like it will replace Mario Kart for you? I don't think this will be a replacement for me personally, but I think that both of the games are just about on par for me. If not, this one a little bit more, because I get irritated by item balancing in Mario Kart a lot more. Again, phenomenal game, but that's the biggest issue with me for Mario Kart, is that item balancing. And the fact that I can't save, presets for my carts or customize them as much as I want. I want to be able to at least change the color of my cart, if not add decals to it. But again, this has been your man Shadicstick. Remember, Hot Faraga turns to Cold Blizzaga. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, follow me on Twitter, and join the Discord. The new Discord link is down in the description below. We're out of here. Peace. Kiss, kiss.